What if I told you that you check your phone, on average, 150 times a day? And what if each of those checks isn't just costing you time, but is actively rewiring your brain to make deep focus harder? Welcome to today's episode. We're going to take a quick look at why it feels so hard to concentrate in our digital age and what you can actually do about it.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. That hook you just mentioned really gets to the heart of the issue. We live in a world designed to grab our attention at every turn. And that relentless pull isn't just about convenience or entertainment. It's fundamentally shaping how our brains work.
Let's dive right in. Why do you think so many people feel constantly distracted these days? Is it just a matter of personal willpower?
Honestly, it's much deeper than that. The human brain, especially the part that's responsible for focus and impulse control, evolved for an environment that's completely different from the one we're living in now. Picture the prefrontal cortex as the CEO of your brain. It plans, organizes, and tries to keep you on track. But then there's the limbic system, more like your brain's crisis manager, always on the lookout for new things, surprises, opportunities, or threats.
I love that comparison. So every notification, every new message, those are all like little alarms for our limbic system, right?
Exactly. When your phone buzzes or you see a new post, your limbic system lights up because it detects novelty. What happens next is a little dopamine spike, that feel-good chemical, which pushes you to check what's new. Your prefrontal cortex can resist for a while, but it takes a lot of effort. Do that 150 times a day, and you can see why so many people end the day mentally drained.
It's almost like our brains are set up to lose this battle. And I've heard experts say this is even harder for people with ADHD.
That's right. For people with ADHD, the brain's wiring makes the pull of novelty and distraction even stronger. The reward system often works differently, so those little dopamine bursts from something new are super enticing. But honestly, everyone is affected. Our environment now is filled with apps designed to hijack our attention, no matter who you are.
Let's talk about multitasking for a minute. A lot of people think they can juggle a million things at once, but is that actually true?
Not at all. The idea of multitasking is a myth. What we're really doing is rapidly switching tasks, or context switching. And every time we switch, our brain needs extra time and energy to adjust. Even simple things like pausing your work to check a text and then going back can add up. You're trading deep focus for surface-level activity, and quality takes a big hit.
You mentioned technology is designed to capture our attention. Can you give me an example of how companies actually do this?
Sure. Think about features like pull to refresh on social media or infinite scroll. These are intentionally addictive designs. They're based on concepts found in slot machines. Random rewards, just often enough to keep you coming back. Each like, each new video hits that dopamine button. And designers know that if you're hooked, you'll keep scrolling and keep coming back.
It's a little unnerving to realize how much of this is deliberate. So what can people do, practically, to reclaim their focus?
The key is to become intentional with your tech and your environment. One of the most effective steps is to curate your digital space. Turn off any notifications that aren't urgent or essential. If you don't need to see it right away, it shouldn't interrupt your flow.
That makes sense. I've tried putting my phone on Do Not Disturb while working, and it does help. What about managing your time and tasks?
Absolutely. Structure is your friend. Techniques like the Pomodoro method, working in 25-minute bursts, then taking short breaks, give your brain a clear goal and rest period. Time blocking is great too. Rather than just a basic to-do list, you actually schedule periods for specific tasks on your calendar, which helps keep distractions at bay.
I know sleep patterns play a role in attention and energy. How does that fit into your focus strategy?
Everyone has a natural rhythm, sometimes called a chronotype. Some people are sharpest in the morning, others later in the day. Try to schedule your most demanding work for when your brain is naturally at its best. Fighting your biology rarely works.
You've talked about training attention almost like a muscle. What does that actually look like?
Regular practice, like mindfulness or meditation, really strengthens your ability to notice when your mind wanders and bring it back. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day can build up that focus muscle in your brain's CEO, the prefrontal cortex. And don't underestimate simple boredom. Give yourself moments without stimulation. Take a walk, stare out the window, leave your phone behind. These unstructured moments actually recharge your creativity and ability to concentrate.
It sounds like we need to rethink what willpower really means in this context. Maybe it's not about toughness, but about compassion and smarter systems.
Exactly. Blaming yourself for not having enough willpower doesn't help, especially for folks with ADHD. It's much more effective to set up systems, routines, and environments that support focus. That way, you're not relying on brute force, but working with your brain, not against it.
So, in the end, it's about building a partnership with technology, using it as a tool rather than letting it control us.
That's the goal. Technology isn't going away, so the power comes from knowing how it influences us and setting up boundaries. With a little intention, you can move from constant reactive distraction to chosen attention, making space for deeper work, more creativity, and a better quality of life.
This has been fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me. I think a lot of listeners will feel empowered to make some small but meaningful changes, starting today.
Thanks for having me. Remember, regaining your focus isn't about being perfect. It's about being a little more intentional, one step at a time.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, sometimes the very best thing you can do is simply put your phone down. Until next time.